tonight to help provide as much information as possible about the candidates who wish to serve our communities. Without further ado, I'd like to hand it off to our moderator, Patrick Shepard. Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa, and good evening, everybody. I am Patrick Shepard from the Greater Sandusky Partnership, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the GSP Election 2025 Candidate Forum featuring the candidates for Perkins Township trustee. There are 3 candidates, and the 2 vote getters will be elected. Regretfully, Jim Lang is unable to join us tonight. He just reached out to us not too long ago. Of course, he was invited. He's not feeling well. He didn't want to share whatever germs he might have. So being very respectful, we appreciate that. I wish he could be here, but we understand that these things happen. We're going to get to the format for tonight's conversation and then to opening statements. The order and seating for tonight's forum was determined by a random draw just a few minutes ago. Each candidate will have an opening statement for 90 seconds. After that, each candidate will have 60 seconds to respond to each question. Kylie Dorsey, right here, is our GSP intern and will be our timekeeper tonight. Kylie will flip up signs when the candidate has 30 seconds remaining and then 15 seconds remaining, and then she will ring the bell. Thank you, Kylie. When time has expired, and show a sign as well. So we will have as many questions as time permits before we go to closing statements of 90 seconds. As a reminder to our audience, please remain respectful and courteous throughout the forum. This means no applause, cheering, or booing during the candidate's remarks. Let's ensure everyone can hear from each candidate equally in a civil, community-minded setting. All right, so let's get to opening statements. Please tell us why you're running and share a little bit about yourselves. As I mentioned, we had a random draw, and Lisa Crescimano, you're first.
Hi, I'm Lisa Crescimano, and I'd like to thank the Greater Sandusky Partnership for the invitation, and I'd like to thank all of you for coming to listen to us. I moved here in 1989 with my husband, Jen, and my son here, who was 8 years old. Basically, this has been our home for over half of my life. And I love living in Perkins Township. We built a life in Perkins Township. I'm an accountant by trade. I received my MBA from Rensselaer Tech Institute in Troy, New York in 1986. I spent most of my life working in the accounting. Now that I'm retired, I lost it. I am a certified public finance administrator. I enjoy accounting, enjoy looking at budgets, and numbers are my life. I am running for trustee this year to usher in a new era of success for our township. 3 of the biggest challenges and opportunities in our community are affordability, safety, and the economy. My priorities as trustee will include fighting for property tax relief for residents, ensuring funding for first responders and safety services, and supporting smart development that benefits our community.
Thank you, Lisa. Tim Cole.
I'd also like to thank GSP and everybody that's in attendance here and everybody behind the scenes that's helping promote this candidate debate. I dedicate each day to make Perkins Township a better place to live, work, and play. I formerly worked at the Ohio Department of Transportation for 32 years. I worked with local, state, federal officials providing a safe transportation system. We provided highway maintenance like construction projects, storm recovery, culvert replacement, catch basin repair, paving, tree removal, mowing, snow and ice control, and also did budgeting and annual work planning. But just like what I do at Perkins Township. I am also a certified professional manager, also attended Ohio Township Leadership Academy 1.0 and 2.0. Something that I'd like to say is that the Sandusky Register twice in my past election cycles has said these things. So if this is any indication of how township officials will deal with the right side of the government, we have full confidence Perkins Township has the right type of leaders in place. Also, we urge voters to retain incumbent trustees for another term. Coleman and Lang have both the experience and understanding of how to make government work. They have demonstrated a dedication to serve township residents, putting politics aside. Thank you.
All right. We are going to move to the questions. Again, 60 seconds to respond, and we're going to reverse the order of who takes the question first. So, Tim Coleman, this question is for you. Is regional collaboration important to the growth and success of local communities, including Perkins Township?
I think it's an integral spot to look at, an integral thing to do. We've been looking at collaboration for the 20 years that I've been a trustee. We look at different things, whether it's infrastructure, which is critical. Route 4 is a potential site for new infrastructure that's needed for growth. There's a lot of different collaborations that can be done, whether it's salt purchasing, whether it's working with other townships. We
And we gave our recommendations and our findings to the Erie County Commissioner. But with working with every different segment of the population, I think it really showed how much collaboration was needed in our community.
All right, Lisa, this question starts with you. The identity of Perkins Township is significantly tied to the Perkins local school district, yet the district has had a difficult time passing levies. What is the township's role in ensuring a strong school system?
Township role in the strong school system. Since I was the Perkins Schools District Treasurer from 2006 to 2015 when I retired, I would have liked more collaboration with the trustees. We didn't have that much. I remember back in the 90s, whenever the school was planning to put a levy on the ballot, Max Schaff would come to the trustees to see if the trustees were putting a levy on the ballot. So we weren't competing for the same dollar. I don't know if that's going on anymore, but I know the 10 years that I was with the school, that never happened.
Tim Coleman.
I would say that our role is critical. We both have the same taxpayers. We both utilize some of the same facilities. We've been working with the school system to have extra activities for the kids, such as sports force, baseball league there, the basketball, volleyball. We also worked with the schools to install the stone basketball court, the tennis courts. We provided money for that and the resurfacing of the courts. We have monthly meetings with the school systems, and we have found that that's very critical in keeping us and the school informed on what's going on. And we do also talk about the levies and when they're putting them on, when they're putting them on, so we don't fight for the same dollars and get mixed messages.
Tim Coleman, you're the first to answer this question. How do you plan to prioritize infrastructure improvements such as roads, utilities, and broadband to support economic growth?
Well, broadband is something that we have very little to do with other than the permitting process. As far as roads go, we have a levy on that pays for road resurfacing, road pavement maintenance programs. And we have an engineering firm that comes in and does an evaluation of the roads every 2 years. So we have an itemized list of what is there, what's needed, and their recommendations. So we have an engineering firm that does that for us. So we're prioritizing that to maximize the taxpayers' dollars that we get from you folks that are living in Perkins Township.
Lisa Grosselman.
The concern I have with infrastructure in Perkins Township is we have the tremendous flooding problems in certain areas of the township that need to be rectified. I think in order to do that, we need to work with the Erie County Engineer's Office, Erie County Soil and Water, and work with the residents and listen to the residents, because these storm sewer and sanitary sewer problems have been going on for a long time.
Okay. Lisa Crescimano, this question starts with you. Recently, the township and county have had difficulty coordinating infrastructure and economic development investments. What would you, as a township trustee, do to clarify roles in economic development and infrastructure projects for the township and Erie County? Examples being the mall and the digs.
This takes me back to the mid-1990s. Erie Regional Planning was a big goal of Marie Hildebrand, who was a trustee for, I think, 12 years. That was her baby, Erie Regional Planning. I don't think the township uses the expertise Erie Regional Planning has. And so I don't think there's enough collaboration between Erie Regional Planning and the township.
Tim Coleman.
We've had much collaboration with the county, and as far as the flooding issue goes, back in 2006, when we had a massive flood, over 8 inches of rain came down, flooded a couple of the residential areas. Marcy Campion came in from Washington, D.C. to survey the location and the areas that we were looking at. The result of that was she had committed money to study that area to help with the mitigation process to try to reduce some of that flooding. One of the results of that was the bridge at Columbus Avenue, which was widened and deepened. So that's helped reduce some of that flooding issue. As far as sanitary sewers, the township does not do anything with sanitary sewers. It's all the county. But we have been meeting with them on some of those issues as far as sanitary and stormwater.
Thank you. Tim, this question starts with you. Housing is an issue in every area across the nation, including Perkins Township. What strategies would you support as a township trustee to increase the availability and affordability of housing in Perkins Township?
Well, we've attended some of the meetings that Serving Our Seniors has had regarding the housing issue. And one of the things that came out of that was that we're looking at zoning issues, size of lots, and minimum size of buildings. One of the things that's very difficult is the seniors that are looking for places to live cannot afford $1,500 a month just in rent, let alone their electric bill, water bill, sewer bills. So we're looking at trying to do something with that in conjunction with the Serving Our Seniors and other people in the county that are looking for housing for not only seniors, but low-income families.
Lisa Crescimano.
One of my concerns is that the levies for the township has doubled over the last 20 years. And a lot of seniors live in their homes that they raised their family with and now do not afford property taxes. I believe that the township needs to give more back to the residents. For example, last year they gave back 0.75 mils to the taxpayers. This year, they are only, or 2026, they will only be giving back 4/10 of a mil. So to me, I'm seeing that as another tax increase because looking at their budget, I can see that they can afford to do another 0.75 to our residents.
All right, moving on. Lisa Crescimano, this question starts with you. How would you balance residential quality of life with commercial development, ensuring that both can coexist and mutually benefit?
Communication. I think communication is lacking in the township. More needs to be shared, and it's just not a Facebook page. There's a lot of ways to communicate with the public. And I think that's what we need to do is to be open with our communication with the residents and the business owners in Perkins Township.
Tim Coleman.
I'll take offense at that. We've been communicating tremendously over the last at least 10 years. we've done studies, we've done surveys, we've done a comprehensive plan that's shown that 85% of the people in Perkins Township appreciate the safety services that we provide. They have voted 73% for our police levy, 78% for our fire EMS levy. They certainly support the work that we're doing. As far as property tax relief, yes, we did not collect over $450,000 this year, and the amount is reduced this next year. But still, we're giving something back to those that are paying in, and the increases that we got. Property tax, local government, and state tax has been taken away over the last 20 years, and the voters have supported the levies that provide services for us.
Tim Coleman, what do you see as the township's role in economic development, and what would your top priority be as a township trustee as it relates to economic development?
Well, we're working in partnership with Greater Sandusky Partnership. We're working with a lot of other public entities and making sure that some of the areas that people are looking at to provide or to build in have the infrastructure. That's one of the other things that we've been working on. It's a easy thing to say that we're not doing enough, but when you get down to brass tacks, we're working daily in our offices to work with people, to work with groups, to work with the county, the state, and local officials to provide what's needed as far as that goes.
Lisa Crescimano.
Okay. When it comes to the small businesses, I spoke to a small business owner who opened his business in Sandusky. He lives in Perkins. He wanted to open his business in Perkins, and we have no grants or any way to accommodate somebody living in Perkins. He was lucky enough to receive funding, some help with funding from the city of Sandusky. I think we need to look at that area to see how we can keep some of the residents to want to open business in Sandusky to open those businesses in Perkins.
All right, Lisa Crescimano, and I'm going to take a moderator prerogative. We're going to change this from 60 seconds to 90 seconds because it's a bigger question. Describe your economic vision for Perkins Township in 10 years. And by the way, Lisa Crescimano, I do lead with this question. Describe your economic vision for Perkins Township in 10 years. What's the first bold move you make as a trustee to get there? How will you hold yourself and the trustees accountable year by year to make that vision real? Again, you have 90 seconds.
Well, it would help if I knew what the vision was of the current people who are at the township. I have not seen their vision. I have not seen any of their plans. If I want to see it, I have to do a public records request, which I do. But again, it has to do with communication. If you don't communicate your vision of what you plan on doing in the future with the residents and business owners of the township, we're just left high and dry and just trying to wonder what's going on. This, Route 4, we plan Tim said that we're planning all these events to happen on Route 4. This is the first time I hear about it, and I go to township meetings. Communication.
Tim Coleman, 90 seconds.
There you go again. We have vision, values, and goals set. And anybody that is either on our website, comes to our office, you're there often enough, I'll walk you around and show you where we have them. So it's not just because you don't know about it, it's not happening. So I'll tip that out. We have the Ohio checkbook. That's something that was done a few years ago. Thanks, Diane, for working on that. And what that is that shows all the dollars and cents that we're taking in and spent. And anybody can get online and look at that so they can see where your money's going. That's something that's open and available. Something else you said prior to that, grants for small businesses. The Ohio Revised Code doesn't allow us to give grants to small businesses. So we can't do that. I like the idea, but we'll have to get that changed in Columbus if we're going to do something like that.
All right. So for a couple of reasons. First of all, the candidates are very disciplined. We've not had to use the bell even once yet tonight. And we obviously originally had 3 candidates and we have 2. We do have a little extra time. We're not going to take the full hour, but I wanted to see if anybody in the audience had a question And when I say question, I mean a policy question that they would like to pose to the two candidates. Yes. Yes, please. By the way, would we want this person?
Oh, that'll be me.
Okay.
My name is Catherine Carter. I live South Perkins Avenue. I enjoy living here. My concern is Route 4. We have around 35 businesses that are empty on 250 and Perkins Avenue and 10 properties that are for sale. And they've been for sale since COVID or before COVID. I can't understand any kind of, I understand future plans, but I can't understand anything that would go on to Route 4 that's similar to 250 when 250 isn't full. And 250 is a long road. And I would rather have it investigated to make that some senior housing complexes there. You've got medical buildings up Route 4, continue that. Some small businesses, but we don't need the 250 in this area. So I was just wondering about that.
All right, Tim Coleman and then Lisa.
Thank you for the question. One of the issues with Route 4 is the infrastructure that is now out there. We've been trying for years to get a study done. We recently, within the last few years, we have the Ohio Department of Transportation commit to doing a study. We have one of the county commissioners kiboshed that idea. He said we don't need it. So that study would have shown the needs of whether it's infrastructure or road widening, intersections, things like that. I'm sorry that it's that way, but unfortunately, that's where we're at. Route 250 was a 2-lane highway when I first started at the state at 79, and it's built up quite a bit. And that's because of the infrastructure that was built to support all those businesses. Some of the traffic out there is very difficult to get in and around, especially on the weekends. So we're working with ODOT to try to time some of those lights differently to allow for more traffic flow and faster traffic flow.
Lisa, across your line.
I remember you bringing up the empty storefronts at one of the township meetings when they were talking about building a commons, it sounded like a miniature Westlake Proctor Park. And they had done a survey, and the response from the survey was very minute. So as minute as it was, to me, they should have asked for more information from the residents. I remember filling mine out when I was on the New York Thruway coming back from I think it was Christmas time. And I agree wholeheartedly with you. We need to concentrate on 250 with all the empty storefronts. I believe you said even more were empty back then.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was listening. And but I tend to agree with you on Route 4. I know that they're thinking of putting an apartment complex, a hotel and apartment complex. I don't know if you were at that township meeting. And I know Vance McKean was at that township meeting, and a lot of people who lived in that area was concerned about flooding. So when you're talking about this, it's just not doing a study. It's what should be on the road. It needs to be looked at very thoroughly.
Any other questions from the audience tonight? Matt, would you like to put in? Yes. I'd like the candidates to address the assertion that residents in Perkins Township are overtaxed. And I'd like them to address a Line data center and whether that was a good deal for residents or not a good deal for residents. Let's give them 90 seconds in this 5 minutes. This starts with Tim.
Could you repeat that first question? So I get it.
Non-residents
Overtaxed.
Perkins Township overtaxed.
The simple answer to that is yes. And the reason why I say that is, as has been stated, taxes have increased, but there's reasons for that. The only way that we can get tax income is through levies or inside millage. There's a very small amount that's gas tax and things like that. When we lost the estate tax, we lost over $1 million a year. When we lost a lot of local government funds, we lost more money. When we lost personal property tax, we lost a lot of that. So the only way that we could keep services going the way the residents want is to put levies on, and they voted for them. Like I said, almost unanimously, 73% for fire, or 73% for PD, and almost 80% for fire. As far as the line data systems, it's I think it's, as one person told me, it's a home run for the township. They're going to have approximately 136 full-time employees when all 4 buildings are being built. Overall, it's going to reduce taxes to all the taxpayers because the $400 million in added tax, property tax, is going to offset the $546 million presently on property tax. And so that'll cause residents' taxes to go down.
Lisa Crescimano.
Are they overtaxed? Yes. And I just want to clarify something that Tim had said. I am entirely for our safety services. He made a comment that I'm being particularly cared for. I am 100% for our safety service. I support them. I think they're part of our community. Everybody in Perkins loves the fire department, loves the police department because we know who they are. So I want to make that perfectly clear. A line data center, it's nice to see something being built on the corner of Rep 4 and West Perkins Avenue. No problem with that. What I have the problem with is they purchased that property for $52 million in August. The TIF did not become effective until December. He mentions $400 million. So I went, and he says my figures are wrong. So I went to the auditor's website and plugged in that $400 million. And that's $9.1 million generated. 75% is being tipped. That's $6.37 million times a 30-year tip, which totals to $191 million. I don't think it's just for the residents or the business owners of Perkins Township to have that side of the tip. Do I believe it? Yes, for infrastructure. I do not believe they should be used for construction.
All right. We can take one more question from the audience and then we'll move to the 90-second closing statement. Is there any other questions from the audience? All right. Hearing none. Lisa had the opening statement, Lee. So Tim Coleman, you'll have 90 seconds for your closing statement. Then we'll go to Lisa.
Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate the opportunity to give my views on the future of Perkins Township. I'd like to continue to build on our successes. Strickfaden Park has become a community gathering place, not only for Perkins Township, but also families and groups that run out to the pavilion. The walking trails, play equipment are utilized by many. Spearfield is continually in use. Many use the quietness to relax while reading or eating lunch. Safe Routes to School program makes walking to school much safer. We're looking at building a new fire station. It's been discussed for over 30 years. We'll replace the 2 fire stations that were designed for volunteer firefighting force. I enjoy going to work every day knowing I can make a difference in working with talented people that I work with. 20 years of success as a Perkins Township trustee. I worked through economic downturns of 2008, 2009, the COVID-19. We've managed through losing local government funds, personal property tax, and estate tax, and more than $1 million per year. I pride myself in being efficient, effective, and transparent. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Tim. Lisa Crescimano.
Sometimes we need a new vision, and being a newly elected trustee, I will bring that new vision forward. I will study budgets. I will open my communication to the taxpayers of Perkins Township. I believe in serving the needs of the people above the needs of myself. I have the fire in my belly. I am hardworking. I am able to communicate. I am a team player, and the community is part of the team. I have the political experience. I've been working in the government for over 30 years, and I have knowledge of the issues. I also have private experience working for a Fortune 500 company before I moved here and traveled all over the country and internationally. I think I have the experience and I would appreciate your vote on November 4th or before because earlier voting is started.
All right, let's give a nice round of applause for our candidate. It's not easy being a candidate or elected official. So putting yourself out there is so important for the work of our communities here. Thanks to you for participating in this civic dialogue. That's for the GSP Election 2025 Candidate Forum. Early almost fell today, as she mentioned, and election day is Tuesday, November 4th. Polls will be